Hi, welcome back to VMAX Motors. Today we've got something a bit different. I'm going to be taking you around my R56 Mini Cooper. Had this for about a year now. I just use it daily, to be honest. It's not too bad, but there's a couple of faults, a couple of issues. So today I'm going to be taking you through them and we'll see if we can get anything fixed. So, there you go. So we're looking at this right here. So that normally indicates that you've got a brake problem of some kind. Usually that your pads are worn or whatever, but as you can see, that's not the case with this. So why is it saying that we've got a brake failure where rears say it's 10,000 left, front say there's 36,000. The fronts is probably quite accurate because I changed them a few months ago. So I wonder if there's something wrong with the rear brake pad sensor. What I'm going to first try and do is reset the light using my diagnostic tool. So let's plug that in and have a look. Vehicle data correction, I think that'll be the one. So looking at that, brakes, so front pads have 98% wear, rear pads, that's left by the way, rear pads have about 27% left, so it's more than a quarter for the rear pads, so I wouldn't expect the warning light to be on. But what I did seem to notice is looking at the dash, it says there's 10,000 kilometers left. So let's see if we can reset that. So yeah, it cares about that. Let's reset this. So resetting the forecast to 50,000. So that's so I think 50,000 is what they're normally set to when they're new, I guess. So you can reset it to new as if you've just changed the pads. I haven't just changed the pads. They are existing pads, but I know that they're okay. They're not too worn. So what I'm thinking is if we use a special tool, we can measure the brake pads. I mean, if you're experienced, you wouldn't need a special tool anyway, but it's asking you to use a special tool here. It is a special tool that I actually have from my time working at BMW many years ago. So I'm going to measure the pads, and then we can put in the actual measurement and see if that resets it. So this is the tool, and as you press the end in, this will slide up and tell you how many mil of wear the pads have. So push this all the way down. Just to show you, if you push down the end, push that back. That's how you can measure the pads. So put that in there. What's it say? 10 mil? 10 and 11 mil of wear. So we'll go with the lowest. So if we do that, it says there's 16,000 kilometers left. So let's change that to 10 mil. 10 mil. So it thinks that the pads are lower than they are. Okay, we want to change that. We haven't actually changed them, so we don't need to change the counter. So no. So that suggests that the actual sensor itself is faulty, and it is quite common on these. So I have got a new sensor, which I was hoping I wouldn't have to use, but yeah, it looks like we have. So what I'll do is I'll fit the new sensor and then go in here, and I should be able to put it in as 10 mil, and it may say it's, you know, whatever, 60, 70% worn, whatever it is. But it should get rid of the light, and it should be actually taking a measurement by them. So something that's interesting is this doesn't have a brake pad wear sensor. So they will be on the offside rear normally. Fitted in there, you trace it back and there should be a disconnection somewhere. However, if you go over here, you can see that's the other end of the sensor right there. So at some point, it's not been replaced or something. I'm not sure what. So I've got a new sensor, so you're going to plug that in, see if we can reset it before I fit the sensor into the pads and see what happens. So I've just connected the brake wear sensor to the other end of the connector. I haven't actually fitted it properly into the car, but connected in that end. Going to see if we can reset the light now. We go into special function, maintenance, data correction. So we'll try to do. So we want to do the rear pads. We want to set them. We've already measured them, if you remember. $10mm. Nope, because we haven't changed them. Completed successfully. So I've just started it up, and as you can see, the light is now out. Let's see what the service info is telling us. Oh, what's going on there? 31,000 it says is left. So it said 10,000 miles before, and now we've set it to its actual pad wear, which is about 10mm. 10mm seems to be 31,000. So that looks like it's reset. The light is off. I'd say the job's good. And so I haven't connected the sensor back in, but that sensor basically buddies up to this, which is your ABS sensor, I think, and it should buddy up to that, come round and right into there on the inner brake pad, I think, and it should be good. So as you can see, sensor goes in there, feed it over the back, it should clip onto the ABS wire there, and you should clip it into there next to the ABS sensor, which on the other side should just push in when connected, and that should be that. So I've gone back into this function on the diagnostic tool, and it tells us that it is reading 84%. So there you go, 10mm equals 84% based on the factory calibrations. The maximum is 60,000 kilometers. But yeah, there you go, reset, and the problem has gone. Next issue is this, not the air conditioning, because I believe that needs a regas, but the rear left faulty indicator. There's been a bulb warning light that's been on the dash for a little while, but every time I've checked the lights, they all seem to be working. So I've had no idea what bulb it's referring to, because it doesn't tell you specifically in the car. So I haven't connected this here. We have actually got a fault, and it's saying it's the rear left indicator. So the first thing we're going to do is take that out and see if there's something wrong with the bulb or the bulb holder or something, because I've definitely checked them from outside the car and they seem to be working fine. But let's take it apart and have a look. So, bulb holder removed. So just having a look at it, the bulb looks okay, but I might change it anyway because I've got a few spare. But I'm looking at this here. I'm not sure how well that's showing up on camera, but it looks like we've got a bad connection on this pin just here. So try and get that in there. So try and show that, but it's not really very clear. But if you look there, looks like it's got a little bit of plastic or something stuck underneath it. So I suspect that's making like poor contact, and it should be making contact with the rest of the light unit, which is still in the car. So I'm wondering if something's broken off or it's got a bit hot and it's melted, making a bad connection, and that's causing the warning light to come on. So I'm going to try and see if I can clean it up a bit and see what happens. So I've tried to clean that up. It looks a little bit better. You can see a bit. You can see a bit of light underneath it now, where I've got out the damaged part. I say damaged part, of melted plastic or whatever. So I'm going to see if that makes good contact, and refit the bulb. Obviously, fit this bulb holder with the bulb into the unit, and we'll see if that light clears. That is the rear bulb holder. You can see that little bit of daylight coming through, so that's where the indicator bulb will go. So back in the car, first things first, let's see if the warning light comes on upon startup. Do you know what? Normally it would come up, so you get a little yellow indicator right in here to let you know that you've got some sort of faults, and that is no longer displaying a bulb. So let's have a look at the diagnostic tool just to confirm and make sure we can clear that fault and see what it says. So look at that. I noticed earlier on, upon looking back at the video, it actually sort of double clicked when you first turned it on before it settled, and it had this constant clicking sound. So it's not double clicking anymore. So looking through here, you can see that there's no more faults. Footwell module, I think it was in, wasn't it? See, there's no more faults in it, looking good, and the light is actually on. So if the fault was still there, you've activated it, it should be sensing it as an active fault, but looks like it's working. Another problem solved. So that's my R56 Mini. It's not a bad car, not much wrong with it. Bit of a clean and a bit of a tidy up, but mechanically it's pretty sound. And those couple of problems we fixed today, you should get through MOT no problem next week. But that's all for now. If you found this content useful or interesting at all, leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.